Most men spend their entire lives chasing answers to the wrong question. They ask why women don't choose them, attraction fades, why being a good guy doesn't seem to work. Machiavelli understood something about human nature that most people are too afraid to admit. People don't respond to intentions, they respond to power. Not power as domination, but power as presence, direction, and inner certainty. And if you really want to understand what women want, you have to stop looking at dating advice and start looking at human psychology without filters. Because attraction is not moral, it is emotional, it is instinctive, it follows patterns whether we like them or not. Here is the first uncomfortable truth. Women do not fall in love with who you could become. They respond to who you already are in the present moment. Potential is invisible. Energy is not. You can be smart, loyal, respectful, hardworking, and still be overlooked. If your behavior communicates hesitation, insecurity, or lack of direction, human beings are emotional detectors. Long before words are analyzed, people feel your relationship with yourself. You walk into a room needing validation, others feel pressure. You walk in grounded and self-contained, people feel curiosity. Machiavelli wrote that people respect those who appear decisive because certainty signals survival. In modern life, attraction works the same way. Confidence is not arrogance. It is emotional stability under uncertainty. It tells others, I can handle life. And safety, emotional and psychological safety, is deeply attractive to everyone. Many men are taught a damaging belief that kindness alone creates attraction. Kindness matters, but kindness without strength becomes approval-seeking. When a man sacrifices his boundaries just to be liked, he silently communicates that he values acceptance more than self-respect. And people rarely feel drawn to someone who abandons themselves. This is where most frustration begins. Men think women want perfection, money, or status. Some do value those things, but beneath all surface preferences lies something deeper: emotional leadership. Emotional leadership means you are not controlled by every mood, rejection, or external opinion. You decide how you respond to life. Emotional direction instead of waiting for permission. Think about the people who naturally attract others. They are not always the best looking, not always the richest, but they possess calm certainty. They laugh easily. They don't chase approval, gauge with the world instead of begging it to validate them. What women often respond to is not dominance, but groundedness. Someone who knows who they are and does not shrink or perform to gain attention. Another hard truth: attraction cannot grow where resentment exists. Many men secretly carry anger toward women because of rejection, but resentment leaks through behavior, sarcasm, neediness, defensiveness, and people instinctively avoid emotional hostility, even when it's hidden. Power begins when you take responsibility for your own development instead of blaming an entire group of people for your experiences. Machiavelli emphasized understanding reality as it is, not as we wish it to be. The moment you stop asking, why don't they choose me, and start asking, who am I becoming? Everything shifts. Women, like all humans, are drawn toward growth, excitement, and emotional aliveness. A man obsessed only with being chosen often becomes predictable and cautious. A man focused on building a meaningful life becomes interesting without trying. Purpose is attractive because it removes desperation. When your life has direction, fitness, skills, ambitions, creativity, friendships, relationships become an addition, not a rescue mission. And here is something rarely said. Women do not want a perfect man. They want a man who is real, but evolving. Someone who faces challenges instead of avoiding them. Vulnerability is powerful when it comes from strength, not helplessness. Sharing struggles while actively improving creates connection. Complaining without action creates emotional exhaustion. The deepest shift happens when you realize attraction is not something you negotiate. It is something you embody. You cannot logically convince someone to feel chemistry, but you can become someone whose lifestyle, energy, and self-respect naturally generate it. So, What does real power look like? It looks like saying no without guilt. It looks like pursuing goals even when nobody is watching. It looks like emotional control when situations become uncomfortable. It looks like walking away from disrespect calmly instead of arguing for validation. When you stop trying to win attention and start building identity, people notice. It's not because you chased them, but because you changed internally. Machiavelli's real lesson was never manipulation. Where's awareness? Those who understand human behavior move through life intentionally instead of reactively. And the irony is this: when you stop centering your life around attracting women, you often become far more attractive, because independence signals abundance. It shows you are choosing connection, not needing it for survival. The goal is not to impress women. The goal is to become powerful within yourself, mentally, emotionally, and physically, so relationships become expressions of strength rather than attempts to fill emptiness. If there's one idea to remember, it's this: attraction follows self-respect. Always. Not fake confidence, not scripted lines, not pretending to be someone else. Real self-respect built through discipline, competence, and honesty with yourself. Some people won't like hearing this because it removes excuses. It means growth is your responsibility, but it also means your future is in your control. You don't need to manipulate anyone. You need to master yourself. And when you do, you stop chasing attention and start attracting alignment. People who genuinely resonate with who you are becoming. If this perspective challenged you or made you think differently, that's the point. Growth rarely feels comfortable at first. Like the video if you want more unfiltered truth about psychology, power, and self-mastery. Subscribe if you're ready to build real confidence instead of chasing temporary validation. Because the strongest advantage you can ever develop is understanding human nature, starting with your own.